So here I want us to be able to display a user name here and be able to log out as well. So how do we do that? So let's go back to our code, and I want us to display a user using the auth. Where is the auth model? Here we go. So the auth model is the one that contains information to do with the currently logged in user. So here I want to say, let's say for example, let me create a function here, copy this, paste there. Now what I want to be able to do is call what's in the session. So I'm just going to copy this and paste it here. So if is set this, otherwise we return false, like so. Let's return a false like that. Okay, so otherwise I want to be able user like this. So let's just call this function user. If this is set, then what I want to return is a username. So I'm going to paste this and do that and say user, first name actually, first name like this. As simple as that. So if now I go to my nav bar, and right here where I have user instead, what I want to do is put my PHP tags and say auth, like so, oops, and say user, like this. It's a function, so I should do that. Now if I come back here and refresh, you see that now I have the first name of the logged in user. Okay, very, very cool. Now, sometimes I may want to get more information than just the user, right? So I would rather much be able to get any of the columns. Let's go to our table. I want to be able to get any of these columns right here. Let's say first name, last name, email, date, etc. Now the problem is I risk complicating my function. I could actually specify what I want in here and just say email, something like this. That's actually a good idea, actually, now that I think about it. So then I can get the first name, the email, etc. Actually, maybe we should do that. There's also a second way you can do that, is by checking to see if the property exists, and then if that item exists in here, and then you return it. So what we would do for that is, there's a function called, let's see, public static. This function is called call. So double underscore like this and then call. But then there's a static version because we're using static here, so we must add static at the end like so. Okay, so usually it's just called call if it's the normal without the static here. But if the static, you put static. So this function runs when I try to get a function that does not exist in here. So you see there's user here, but let me put the function name here and the params that I sent. So here I'm just going to say method, the method I was trying to call, and the params, I think, like so. And then what I want to do here is echo out, just echo out the method that I was trying to call, like so. So normally what happens is, if I don't see this, let me delete this first, go back to my nav, and then at this point I want to remove that. This is actually a good idea, we could do this, but let me just say user1. I know this function does not exist, so I want to see the error that I get. So I'm going to refresh, and you see there's a fatal error here, but it's too squeezed to see. However, it's still there. So what we can do is move this over here so we can see it more clearly. So refresh, and you see this is code to undefined method user1. Now, if I go back to my auth and undo this, now I have this function here, which is going to be called the moment I try to load something that does not exist. So if I refresh, oh, we have a syntax error on line 45. What is the syntax error? Unexpected variable on line 45. Wait a minute. Unexpected token bracket? Oh, sorry, my bad. I should have written function there. Ugh, in a hurry. So you see now, I get user1. Instead of getting an error, I get user1 because it's showing me what I've tried to access, right? So that is what I've tried to access. So that is good. If I had sent some params, let me just do print readable. I'll say print r. Yes, let's use the params here like so. Okay, the params, let's see what we have. Refresh, and it's an empty array. But if when sending this I had added a parameter here, maybe a number or something, then it will show up inside this array like so. Look at that, very nice. So we can use this to our advantage. So instead of, because what would happen if I want to be able to do something like this. I just say get, and then I say first name like that. Then it will get me the first name. If I want email, I just say get email like that, and then I get the email. The problem with doing it the normal way is that I would need to create all these functions for each column, and that's just not very practical. So instead here, what we can do is tell it to get the first name. So if I do this, what I get on the error, let me come back here to the auth and change it back to echo the method. You see that I get first name. So all I need to do is remove the get, change this to a lowercase, and then I know the column I need to get, right? Very cool. So what I would do is I'll just check if the session exists. Same thing here, and paste there, and else I return false. And maybe it's better, instead of returning false, we can say unknown, so that if the user is unknown, then we see unknown. Then here, if this is set, we're going to check first. If is set again, okay. Actually, let's see. If is set that, actually, what we can do is just clean up the method first of all. So I'm just going to say the property is equal to, let's do a string replace. So we want to do a string replace. We are searching in the method and we're replacing the get, the text get, and the subject. Wait a minute, what was this? I'm confused now. Let's do a string replace again. I want to see what the suggestions are. Oh, wrong thing. String replace. So this is what we are searching for and what we are replacing it with. Okay, I see. So we are searching for the get. We are replacing it with nothing. And it's in the method, that's the subject. Okay, so we put that there. Oh, sorry. So that's the property name. And we need to change it to a lowercase. So string to lower, like so. And then now we have prop here, which is the array item. So we say if is set this prop, and then we're going to return the prop, like so. Very simple and elegant, yes? Okay, so let's see if it worked to get a first name. So refresh, you see, I get the first name there. If I go back to my nav and then I say get email, let's see, email like so. That function does not exist, but I will get the email from my row, which is pretty cool. So let's get back to the first name. Let me cut that and let me just add it where I had added it, which is, of course, I have no idea at this point. So let me just undo. Okay, there we go. So I need to paste it there. Okay, get first name. And we are back to square one. There we go. But it's more elegant this time. So click. Let's quickly do the logout page here. So logout is already going to the logout. And I just need to go to the, let's say the home controller that is clean. Copy this and create a new controller. Paste that and change this to logout. Okay. And save it as logout.php. And at this point, we don't even need to do any of this. I just need to say auth logout. Where is the auth function? Logout right there. Okay, so back here to the logout. Where are we? There we go. So auth logout like this, and then I redirect. That's it. So I don't even need no if statements here. I just need to redirect the user right after. I don't need to load any of this, no views either. So back here, so we say auth logout, redirect to the login page. Simple and straightforward. So if I now refresh this, go here and click logout, I'm on the login page again. If I try to go to my home page, I'm back on the login page because I'm not logged in. If I now log in at yahoo.com, password, login, and I'm back logged in. Very nice, isn't it? Yes. Okay, so hopefully you've learned something, and I will see you in the next video.